Welcome back to the YCN Game of the Week, where it's the visiting Mascoma Royals coming in at 5-5, but they have the early first quarter lead, leading the Cardinals 17-13 as we head into the second. So, Jeremy, what struck you about that first quarter of play?
Well, I'll give credit to the Mascoma Royals, no doubt, coming out of the gate really hitting hard, and here they start the second quarter with a nice steal and score.
Schwartz doing his best Noah Spalding impression, picking a pocket with a wide-open layup.
So a nice effort by Mascoma to start the quarter, but then they kind of were sluggish and slowed down a little bit as they let Stevens kind of back in the door, only down 4 when that quarter ended. And the biggest difference was the field goal percentage went cold for the Royals. At the last 5 trips down the court, they got 2 points on 2 free throws by Schwartz. The rest were turnovers or missed shots, which Stevens turned into points, and that's how they cut the gap.
Are you saying momentum swinging, Jeremy?
After the first couple minutes in that first quarter, it was a little bit more Stevens' side, and they were able to come back.
Well, as you see another long pass attempt by Spalding, picked away by a Mascoma defender. So it's nice when you have a point guard with such eyes like that looking to make those long passes, but unfortunately that's 2 in a row that he's been unable to connect on, although not a turnover in this particular instance as Stevens maintains possession.
Right, you got to be careful not to get too overzealous and try and make a pass that's just not possible. And Stevens will iron those kinks out as the game goes on, but looks like we're in for a pretty competitive matchup.
Just a reminder to local sports fans, 94.5 ESPN Radio's Franklin and House Sports Talk Show is now on YCN. Every weekday evening at 6 p.m. YCN will replay 94.5's noon to 1 p.m. Franklin and House Show. Tune in to hear what's hot in local sports. As the Cardinals continue to dominate on the offensive glass, Anthony Stithen with the layup there cuts the deficit to just 4 points now.
And that's the problem if you're the Royals right now, is you can force bad shots and you can force some misses, and you've done that, but you can't force rebounds if you just don't have the size and athleticism, and unfortunately they don't. So it's going to be a daunting task to stop those second chance opportunities, as we see once again here for the Cardinals.
Awful lot of contact on that drive by Spalding. Thought you'd get either a blocking foul or a charge call, but not the case as Parker Smith puts one up. And a nice rebound there, number 24, Jordan DeFord. He's had trouble battling against Zach O'Brien tonight, but a big board there, and Alex Schwartz with a nice backdoor layup increases the lead to 21-15 for the visiting Royals.
Clearly going to Schwartz all night tonight. He leads all scorers with 11 in the early going.
Stithen with the move on the baseline, kicks it outside. And that is going to remain Stevens' ball, deflected off a Mascoma defender. So a good, fortunate break there for the Cardinals. So what kind of adjustments, Jeremy, would you make? I mean, again, we kind of talked about it. We said maybe Schwartz is probably the most talented player on this floor, but as far as talent goes, Stevens has the depth on this team. As you see O'Brien convert that layup. I mean, what kind of adjustments, if you're a coach, Bear Turney, do you need to make? And I guess I will refer that question to after the break, so we'll take a quick break from our YCN Game of the Week. Welcome back to the YCN Game of the Week, brought to you by La Valley Building Supply, where it's the visiting Royals leading 21-17. And Jeremy, you were saved by the timeout, but I was asking what kind of adjustments Stevens should make, knowing that they kind of have the more talented roster and certainly more depth than this visiting Royal squad. As you see DeFord with a nice layup there.
Well, during the timeout, I was able to call up Greg Popovich, and he gave me some tips on what I should tell the people that's going to happen. I really think you have the better team, you have the more talent, and the longer the game goes, the talent's going to win out. So you just got to stick to your guns, like you saw Mascoma do in that game against Fall Mountain. So although Schwartz, you want to stop him, but do you want to sacrifice everything, or do you want to just say, hey, we're going to let Schwartz get his, and we're confident enough that we can get ours? I mean, they're getting some shots, as you see right there, and some of them aren't falling, but when they start to fall, plus they get offensive rebounds, they're almost getting 2 shots for every one that Mascoma gets. Mascoma has gotten maybe 1 offensive rebound, I believe, and I don't have the stats in front of me. Stevens, on almost all their possessions, they've gotten at least 2 chances. So is that going to even out? I don't think so. I think that is a true indicator of how good the Stevens Cardinals team is.
Well, you make a good case, I will say that, and if history repeats itself, like you did refer to that Fall Mountain Mascoma game, as you see Parker Smith with the layup there, you're right, and it was Fall Mountain that started strong, but it was a big third quarter effort for Mascoma that really kind of turned the tides in that game. So it kind of plays into your theory that the longer this thing goes on, that depth will prevail and maybe Stevens will pull away, but I, for one, won't count those chickens just yet, because I think Schwartz has a little more in store for us, as you see that nice drive to the bucket right there. So we'll see what happens as the Royals still lead.
Right, I do think that, obviously, I said Schwartz was very talented, and I think they will, keep it up and stay in this game. I mean, with a 4-point lead, I'm not going to say they're going to turn it around before the half, but I just think the bodies underneath is tough when you're getting second chances almost every possession. You only have to shoot 45%, and you're going to score almost every time down the floor.
And that's absolutely right. I mean, the rebound battle is a battle that I think is unwinnable for Mascoma. I mean, the O'Brien brothers alone are giving DeFord a hard time under the hoop right now. As you see, an offensive right on cue, Zach O'Brien gets the offensive board over DeFord. So that's a battle that Mascoma can't win, but if they make their shots, I think they hold a very good chance. As another offensive board, Zach O'Brien with it now, puts up the deep three-pointer, back rims it, and Mascoma comes away with the board.
So we've talked about you can't coach the talent. They have the athleticism, the bigger body. So if you're coach for Mascoma, Coach Jim Barry, what do you think, and what is your strategy to hold this 3-point lead?
Yeah, see, I'm not as much of a basketball mind to answer that question as far as, I mean, you got to hit your shots.
But is there a way to, and I'm kind of thinking out loud here, is there a way to negate that offensive rebound? And, when that shot goes up, you just leave your man and all four guys, as opposed to right now where, look at the shot goes up and there's three Royals. They're not even crashing to the hoop. Yeah, you're going to leave guys open on the perimeter
and that's
if you crash the hoop. But at this point, you're getting killed. When do you make that change and start swinging it the other? I mean, you're not getting killed in the scorebook, but you're getting killed on that.
And that's a good question, because usually if you're a team that struggles on the boards, maybe your excuse is we're a smaller team, but we're a quick team. We're going to run the floor. We're going to score those points in transition, fast-paced offense. But we can't even say that for Mascoma. As you see here, they're a very deliberate, slow offense. They make 5 or 6 passes before even getting a shot off. So it's not even like they can count on speed to make up for the rebounding. So, again, I don't know the answer to your question.
And I mean, right there, a turnover, unforced error, if you will, that's just can't, that's the type of stuff that cannot happen at all if you have limited possessions. But, I mean, for all this talk, in the second quarter, it was a 4-point game when it started, and it's a 3-point game now. So, really, is Mascoma any worse for the wear?
Correct.
No, I'm just saying as the game plays out longer, the chances are that the better team's going to win. But this isn't like, Tyson and whatever upset.
Well, I guess that's why we're not leaving at halftime, and we're going to see this game all the way through.
Oh, we aren't? I was hoping it was a half day tonight.
Parker Smith comes up with his own rebound. Really, speaking of that team's success with the boards, before he gets that one, Mascoma's going to try to be quick up the floor. Good pass over to Tyler Warner. Can't get it to fall, and it's going to be Stevens' ball.
And I liked it on that last possession. It was Schwartz and DeFord were kind of double teaming O'Brien for that rebound. One of them was almost like, okay, I'll get the body and kind of box him out. You get the ball.
Right.
And that's a tough thing to play because the ball's in the air. You've got to make adjustments on the fly, but it's almost like you've got to have that in the back of your mind.
Nice spin move by O'Brien on the assist from Parker Smith, but big man showing some finesse there in the paint, gets that layup to go and cuts his team's deficit to just 1 point inside 2 minutes to go. Just a reminder to stay tuned near the end of our telecast for the HR Club Kearsarge Heating Oil turning up the heat player of the game, and already a few options on both sides. Nice pass to DeFord in the paint, but Zach O'Brien there to deny that shot opportunity and send it into the cheerleaders.
A great cut there by the Royals, just didn't really go up strong enough. Luckily it'll keep the possession underneath their own hoop, but a good cut. And now they'll be able to set up their offense and take some time.
Schwartz with the ball now, guarded by Smith. Uses the pick, kicks it over to the corner. And once again, you're seeing that patience by the Mascoma offense. Schwartz back with the ball now, guarded by Smith. Pulls up from the free throw line, a little long, but the offensive board by DeFord this time, and he's going to be fouled. And one for DeFord. Gets the rebound, layup, and will go to the line for one. So great move there by the Royals big man.
Good job getting one of their few offensive rebounds. DeFord looking for his 5th point of the night.
Can't get that to fall, but gets his own rebound. So I guess we can't call it a 4-point play, but it's as good as one. 4 quick
That's one way to do it.
DeFord.
That really silences us up here, or at least myself, as he gets the offensive rebound.
And we got a
puts it back.
Travel called against Smith, so inside 1 minute to go in the first half, and Mascoma is going to have the ball in a 29-24 lead.
Quickly right here, do you four corners offense slow it down, get one shot left? You like we were talking about, you're the underdog. You're winning by 5. You want to shorten the game, so to speak, and
you read my mind. You read my mind in asking that question. I do agree. I like that, being that they're a very deliberate team anyway. I do think, yes, there's no harm. It's a minute. Do it. No shot clock. Why not?
Right.
But that said, part of me says, Mascoma's the team outperforming Stevens in the first half. Keep the pace up. But I agree with what Coach Barry's doing.
Right. I mean, you're on the road. Not that there's a huge crowd here, but you're on the road. You're up 5. You don't want anything to go wrong. You still have to be careful, because we've seen a couple steals out on the perimeter here, so you don't want to get too, lackadaisical and lose the ball.
Schwartz with it now. It was a dangerous pass. Puts it up and gets it to fall, so that patience pays there. Dangerous pass, but Schwartz gets it. And that's going to do it for the first half. Nicholas O'Brien puts up the long 3. Stevens faithful looking for a foul call, but that's not going to come. And the Mascoma Royals are going to head into halftime with a surprising 31-24 lead. So stay tuned after the break for some halftime stats from our YCN Game of the Week. Welcome back to our YCN Game of the Week, brought to you by LaValle Building Supply. I'm Mike Pizzone, joined by Jeremy Stout, and it's halftime here, where it's the visiting Mascoma Royals with a 31-24 lead, somewhat surprising. And Jeremy, I know you have a little bit of statistics as far as how we got to this point.
Yeah, a little bit of a surprising start, as you mentioned, led by Alex Schwartz with 17 points for the Royals, and Zachary O'Brien with 10, leading the Cardinals. So a big effort by Schwartz to see if he can keep that up in the second half if they want to keep this lead.
Yeah, and Stevens has a lot of potential. They're a very talented team. They're a very deep team. By no ways is this game over by any means. But as we said in our intro, Coach Jim Barry knows how to adjust, knows how to get to most of his players, especially in the second half. I see, a potential here for the Royals to maybe run away with this one. So we'll see what happens in the second half of our YCN Game of the Week.